The Monkey Chief and the Demon. Once upon a time, a troop of monkeys settled down on the outskirts of a forest. The forest had many poisonous trees and a lake that was home to a demon. The Monkey Chief called a meeting to warn his subjects. He said, "My dear friends, you have to be wary here. Do not eat any fruit or drink any water without my permission." One day, a few monkeys set out in search of firewood and wandered far into the forest. As they went along, they passed a lake. The monkeys were tired and thirsty. One of them decided to have a drink from the lake, but the others yelled, "No, don't drink that water! Have you forgotten our chief's warning?" "Oh dear," replied the monkey. "I am so thirsty that I entirely forgot. Let's wait here for the chief." Soon the chief came by and decided to check that the water was safe to drink. The chief investigated around the lake and found footsteps leading to the lake. "I'm sorry, dear monkeys, but this is the demon's lake," he said. The monkeys replied, "Oh no, what do we do now? We are very thirsty." The chief said, "Let me think of a way to get the water." All of a sudden, the demon jumped out of the lake and screamed, "This is my lake. If anyone enters it, I will eat it up." The chief said, "Okay, demon, then we will drink the water without entering the lake." "Ha ha! How will you do that?" mocked the demon. The chief said, "Monkeys, cut some bamboo reeds from that tree." The monkeys obeyed, and soon the chief joined all the reeds together and put one end into the lake. He then stood at the other end and sucked through it with all his might. Soon water began gushing out and the monkeys drank their fill. The chief then turned to the angry demon and said, "Oh demon, you might be big and strong, but strength is nothing when compared to brains." The Clever Son. One morning in a faraway village, a farmer named Ravi helped his father onto a bullock cart. Just at that moment, his son Vivek ran towards them. "Father, where are you taking grandfather?" Vivek called out. "I'm taking him to the town," replied Ravi. "I'm coming too, father," said Vivek. Ravi, however, told the boy to stay at home. He called his wife and asked her to take Vivek away. But Vivek ran after the cart and jumped in. Ravi gave up and took him along. They rode on and soon came to a graveyard. Ravi got off the cart and said, "Vivek, stay here with grandfather. I will come back soon." He then went to an isolated spot and began digging. After a while, Vivek became restless and decided to look for his father. He saw his father and asked, "What are you doing, father?" "I am digging. What are you doing here?" "I told you to stay with grandfather," answered Ravi angrily. But Vivek inquired, "What are you digging for, father?" Ravi saw that he had no choice but to tell Vivek the truth. He said, "Son, it is a grave for your grandfather." "But grandfather's not dead," said Vivek. "Yes, but he's old and useless. He won't live long, so there's no harm in burying him now," said Ravi. "Oh," said Vivek, and he picked up the spade and began digging nearby. "What are you doing?" asked Ravi. Vivek replied, "When you become old, I'll bring you here and push you in." "What? You would do that to your own father?" said Ravi. "I wouldn't want to break the family tradition, father," said Vivek. Ravi realized his folly. He hugged Vivek and said, "Son, you have stopped me from committing a horrible crime." Ravi then took his father home and told his wife of all that had happened. He said, "You know, sometimes children are wiser than grown-ups." Greed does not pay. Long, long ago, in a faraway village, there lived a Brahmin who had a wife and 3 beautiful daughters, whom he loved very much. The Brahmin worked hard and took good care of his family. But one day, all of a sudden, he died. His family was heartbroken. The Brahmin's wife, Yashoda, cried with grief. "Oh God, what will I do? How will I support my children?" In the meantime, the Brahmin was reborn as a beautiful golden swan. One day, the swan said to himself, "I wonder how my dear wife is doing. I must visit them." He flew to his village and was unhappy to find his family begging for a living. He said, "I must do something to help them. I cannot leave them to beg." The swan then flew towards Yashoda. When she saw the lovely bird, she wanted to catch it. But the swan said, "Wait, Yashoda, I'm your husband." Plucking one of his feathers, he said, "Sell this feather, Yashoda, and buy some food and clothes." Then he flew away. Every week he came back to provide for his family. Soon, Yashoda and her daughters were rich and were able to live in luxury. However, Yashoda was a very greedy woman. She was not happy with getting just one feather a week, and so decided to pluck all the feathers off the swan. So the next time the swan arrived, Yashoda pounced on it. The poor swan begged her not to pull off its feathers, but in vain. The swan cried to her, "What have you done? Those feathers are useless. Because you took them by force, they have changed to ordinary feathers." "Oh no, now what do I do?" wailed Yashoda. The swan looked at her and sang, "This is what greed comes to, Yashoda. You were greedy, and now you are left with nothing." He flew away, never to return again. The Deceitful Bird. A long time ago, on the foothills of the Himalayas, there lived a large flock of birds. The king of the birds said, "Go and look for grain. If you find some, report to me, and we'll all share it." Soon all the birds set out. One bird flew far and found many carts loaded with grain passing through a road. As the carts passed, grain fell onto the road. "Wow! So much grain! What a feast!" "I won't tell the others, or I'll have to share it with them," thought the selfish bird, and then flew back to his flock. When the other birds asked him if he had found anything, he said, "Oh, my dear friends, I found a road with many carts." Carts? There must be lots of grain there, said the birds excitedly. Yes, but there are so many carts rushing by that it would be fatal to try and get the grain, said the bird. The other birds were disappointed and said, "Oh, what a waste. Well, our lives are more important. We won't go there." The bird was thrilled to see his plan work. Every day after that, he would fly off to the road and eat his fill. Soon he became really fat, and the other birds got suspicious of him. One day, when the bird set out as usual, the king followed him at a distance. The king saw the bird feasting on the grain and realized that he had cheated the others. As he watched, a cart came down the road. The greedy bird saw the cart and said, "It's far away. I have time to eat some more." And he went on eating. The cart was moving at a great speed, and suddenly the bird cried, "Oh no, it's here!" But before he could fly away, the cart ran over him. The bird lay there on the verge of death when the king flew to him. He was very ashamed and sang, "I am very sorry, Your Majesty." He died. The king flew back to his flock and told them of all that happened. "I hope you realize now that selfishness and deceit brings one's own ruin," he said. The Lion and the Jackal. Once upon a time, in a dense jungle, a hungry jackal met a ferocious lion. The lion had just caught his prey and was on his way home. When the lion saw the jackal, he said angrily, "What is it? What do you want?" The jackal knew he could not escape now, so he said, "Your Majesty, I would like to serve you." The lion was pleased to hear this and agreed. The jackal was also thrilled. He thought, "Ha! Now I will never be hungry again." The lion said, "Every day you will go to the top of that hill and inform me if there are any animals in the forest below." The jackal agreed, and the next morning he set out to climb the hill. Soon he reported, "My lord, there's an elephant down there." The lion immediately went hunting and killed the elephant. He then ate his fill and left the rest for the jackal. Months passed and the jackal became restless. There's no difference between the lion and me. I can also hunt, only if I knew where my prey was, he thought. So he went to the lion and said, "Your Majesty, you have been very generous to me, but I would like to eat something that I have killed." The lion tried hard to dissuade the jackal, but in vain. Finally, he agreed and climbed the hill to scout prey for the jackal. He spotted an elephant and informed the jackal. The jackal rushed away to catch the elephant. He jumped at the elephant, hoping to catch its throat, but missed. The elephant was perplexed, and in the confusion, he stepped on the jackal and killed him. The lion came by and seeing the jackal said, "If only my dear friend knew his limitations, he could have lived a long and happy life."